today to fit a patient with a transfemoral limb loss with our iFIT advanced closure adjustable immediate fit prosthesis. First off, you measure the limb from the groin area to about the distal end. And here we have 29 to 30 centimeters. You want to cut the prosthesis a little shorter, about 4 to 5 centimeters shorter than your actual measurement from the groin to the distal end. So we're looking at about 25, 26 centimeters for the prosthesis. Next, you measure around the residual limb, and this is 40 centimeters, and this is 53, which corresponds very well to our standard transfemoral adjustable prosthesis. Now you notice this tag. This tag signifies that once this adjustable connector is adjusted, you have to take each bolt out and put Loctite on it and torque it to 10 Newton meters. Because his limb is 29 to 30 centimeters, I'm going to mark this to be cut down around 26. I'm also going to see about where it fits on his limb. And if I bring this tighter, I'm just getting a rough estimate of how much I have to close it. So I'm just going to make a little mark there. Okay, so that's about where I have to cut it from. From this mark. It is about this long. So what I'm going to do is just kind of make a mark around here, around the perimeter of where I'm going to cut it. And this will get you in the ballpark. You can always cut it a little bit more later or shape it a little bit more later, but I know that I'm going to have plenty of length if I cut it at this length. If it then goes up into his groin area, we can always cut it down more. I've made my mark, and you simply cut like this. Then you sand the edge. You can, so that you want a smooth edge for wearing it. And I generally just use a sanding block. Once you've figured out about where the prosthesis is going to close, you know once you close it on the soft tissues, it's going to go in a few more centimeters, about 5 centimeters. You want to then mount the spools close enough so that they're out of the groin area. And we have pre-drilled holes. If you have to cut this, you can use other holes that are in a different area. Here are the spools that we use. They come in several pieces, and you want to Loctite the bottom nut, put it through the hole here, and then you put the screw through the spool and screw it into here as such. This is the cord and loop system for closure. It goes through the buckle and then through the 2 holes on the spool. Now, the way that you're going to close, you pull this through here, and the way that this actually tightens the prosthesis is that you wrap this end around the spool a loop, and then you buckle it. Now, when you're first starting out, I would just keep the buckle open and then very loosely, and you tie a slip knot. Just go around here, tie it just like that, because we're going to adjust it anyway after we put it on him. And then you see as you close, you may have to wrap it to get more adjustment. But for now, this is what we'll do. So here's the prosthesis. This rotates, the flaps are open, the buckles are open. It has a pin suspension system, and this button opens the pin. So what I do is initially just slide it on, and there it is. Now I like to close the middle buckle first. Oh, está bien. And that's a pretty good fit. He can certainly tighten it up later. And when you have the prosthesis on, you want this screw in the first buckle facing straight up. Your adjustment can rotate like this, and the best way to initially align this is to have it at about a 45-degree angle. So here's the vertical, and it's about 45 degrees. We found that this is a good way to initially align this. You can certainly adjust it later. The iFIT prosthesis comes with a rotator, and you just put it into here, and then you put the knee in. Dolor? So now I'm going to show you how to Loctite these screws for the bottom rotator connector. You take them out, and you'll find they have a washer on them. Very important that you keep that washer there and don't lose it. You put the Loctite here on the distal end of the screw, and then you just put it back. Make sure that your socket wrench or your torque wrench has a 10 Newton meter adjustment, and that's what it is. Then you're done. Don't over tighten or under tighten. Once you have fit the patient with the proper length of cord and the proper wraps, you can take this slip knot and pull it all the way out so that it makes a knot. Cut it, leaving about 2 centimeters. Burn off the ends so that they don't fray. Then you can tuck this end in under here, and it's much more discreet. So this is the final prosthesis that we fit on this gentleman, and I just wanted to talk a little bit about some of the advantages to the cord system. You don't have, when you open up the prosthesis, it doesn't come all the way open, and so it stays at about the same setting as you had before. The cords are easier to use and never come undone, so you're not having to reach back and try and find the slot that it had before. It has a more even pulling, and we found it to be very durable, and the way it is now is we have now moved the spool so that they're forward and they're out of the groin area.